Hi everyone, this is Pinnacle Professional College, and today I'm bringing you another stellar lecture on audits. So if you're taking an audit, this is the opportunity. If you want to learn more about audit, this is the opportunity. Today we'll be talking about the impact of technology on audits. The impact of technology on audits. Now, let's begin with a brief introduction. In the last couple of years, there have been rapid development in modern technology. Very rapid. Things seem to be moving at a very, very fast pace. Right? And this has affected the way organizations run and even how audit practices are implemented, right? So rapid development in modern technology plays a fundamental role in the operations of both practitioners and their clients. Organizations are increasingly falling into one of the two categories. Now let's find out what the categories are. Now, established or mature organizations who need to modernize their product and business models to embrace new technology. Because there's always something new coming up. So very established organizations have to modernize their products and modernize their business model to embrace new technology. We also have new organizations whose business models and products are based on modern technology. So you have established organizations and you have new organizations. Irrespective of the category organizations fall into, technological development and application plays a significant role in the success of an organization. For example, in the past, if you want to buy a product, you have to walk to a store to go and buy it. Right? You have to physically walk to a store to go and buy it. Now things have changed because of the internet. You can sit back and buy a product and make a delivery to your home. So customers are now using the internet to source for products and more information about possible suppliers, right? And that's what companies like Amazon, eBay, Alibaba are doing. Now, to be competitive as an organization, you might have to figure out how to deliver the stuff and create an online store. Organizations integrate the internet into their actual products. They integrate the internet into their actual product. Example, traditional face-to-face training courses might be offered as online training products, right? So gone are the days where people had to physically go to a school. Right now, you sit online and have access to the same knowledge, just as someone who is physically in the school. Now, even stuff like medical and legal advice is being offered online. Online. And so there are situations where you can go online and talk about your health issue and you'll be connected with a doctor online. So technology has changed a whole lot of things. Now we cannot talk about technology without talking about the other side, which is cybersecurity. Cyber attacks on organizations such as distributed denial of service, ransomware, and theft of confidential data, intellectual property, and design secrets have become inevitability rather than a mere risk. Improvements in technology comes with the terrain of cybersecurity threats. Attacks are becoming more sophisticated. Organizations must embrace cybersecurity as a key business risk and invest forcefully and robustly in assessing and responding to such risks, because cybersecurity risks have become a part of the internet space. Now, the reason why organizations must invest a lot into cybersecurity is if things go wrong on the cybersecurity end, it can lead to reputational damage, it can lead to operational disruption, it can even lead to fines, and stuff like that. And no organization wants to go through that. The ultimate responsibility for cybersecurity strategy lies with the organization's leadership. This is very important because the whole cybersecurity strategy must start from the top and must trickle down. It's very, very important. Now let's move on to the next slide. Now let's talk about data analytics, and big data. Data analytics and big data. Now, one of the things you realize in audit is that in audit, there's a lot of sampling done, right? Because data of organizations are big, they are huge. And so you cannot go through every single transaction and audit it. So sampling is very, very key when it comes to audit. Sampling is very, very key. And this is crucial to understand, right? Now, with a lot of data analytics tools and data analytics techniques, there's this whole conversation arising around being able to analyze the entire data rather than a sample, as is being currently done in audit. So let's talk about data analytics. Data analytics describes the use of automated techniques to analyze a client's data. The key aim is to help a practitioner achieve a more efficient engagement and add value to their clients. One of the key challenges facing the practitioner is how to access the client's data set. The process would normally involve the use of a practitioner's IT expert to extract a copy of the client's data, which the practitioner can then analyze and interrogate. So when we say big data is basically large or complex data sets that traditional processing applications cannot handle. So there's a whole evolution of big data, because if you look at a company like, let's say, Walmart, people are buying from Walmart every day. The data that they have in terms of the purchases is so huge, and this information can be analyzed once you have the right data. Now let's move on to what we call blockchain audits. Now, blockchain it's a whole interesting space, and people who have heard blockchain will probably know about Bitcoin as well. So blockchain first arose as the technology behind Bitcoin and has been evolving ever since. Right? Now, what's blockchain? What blockchain technology allows is that it allows two parties who do not know each other to transact without using a trusted intermediary, thereby cutting transaction costs. So what is blockchain seeking to do? Blockchain is seeking to enhance transactions between two individuals or two people or two parties without an intermediary like bank. It eliminates the bank from the whole transaction process, or a trusted intermediary from the whole transaction process. And what that creates is it reduces transaction costs, because if a transaction goes to the bank as a facilitator of the transaction will charge transaction fees. Now, it do this. It does this basically by offering what we call internet-based ledgers with ready-to-access information. So both parties to a transaction will be able to access an identical ledger, right, eliminating the need for reconciliation. So blockchains can be public or private. So blockchain is basically a way of transaction, or transaction allows for transaction without using a trusted intermediary through the use of what we call internet-based ledgers. Blockchain technology provides a verifiable record of all transactions ever undertaken through the network. A blockchain audit allows auditors to test all transactions in the blockchain rather than performing substantive testing on a sample basis as is currently done with a traditional ledger. So you see, what is currently done in the audit world is sampling, because you cannot take all transactions. A sample is taken, and based on that sample, we do our audits and come out with, an outcome. What a blockchain audit is able to do is that we are able, in a blockchain audit, the auditors are able to test all transactions in the blockchain, because a verifiable record of the transactions undertaken go through the network. So in a blockchain audit, all the transactions are being tested, and this helps to increase the assurance level. And auditors can access the blockchain to verify information themselves, reducing the need to obtain external confirmations or items. Right? So another benefit here, rather than auditors going to get confirmations, right? External confirmation is basically, let's say, somebody, an auditor is auditing a client and has to confirm their bank balance. They will need an external confirmation from the bank of the client to say, okay, client A actually has $100 or $1,000 in their bank account, right? But with blockchain, auditors can do that check themselves. They do not have to go through the tedious process of going through external confirmation. They can access the blockchain to verify information themselves, and thereby reducing the need to obtain external confirmations. The audit may even be able to be automated for more routine transactions, increases the efficiency of the audit process. Audits is a very, very interesting space, very, very interesting area that should be studied because of the nature of events and this. Now we are still on the impact of technology audits. We are still there. The impact of technology on audits. Now let's talk about drones. Drones. Now you might say, what is drones doing in audit? So hold on. The use of drone auditing is another recent technological development. So far, drones have been used in a very small number of audits for the audit of inventory. So typically what happens is to do an inventory count, an audit professional has to go to the site of the client and go and count inventory. Drones can be used to audit items stored over a large area outdoors, as grass or timber. The drone can cover a much larger area in a shorter time than a human auditor, which therefore increases the efficiency of the audit. They can also be used to scan or film inventory being stored high up in warehouses, right? So basically, rather than a human auditor going to do the count and taking a long time to do the count, a drone can do that, because a drone can cover a large space and do the count. So these are some of the technologies that's impacting the way audits are done. Right. Now let's look at the impact of emerging technologies on audits. The impact of emerging technologies on audits. Fundamental principles of auditing assurance remain despite the evolution of new technologies. Subsequently, the IASB has so far resisted any calls for wholesale changes to the ISS. The IAASB, however, committed to keeping abreast of the impact of technological advancements on audit assurance. So it's important for practitioners and auditors to be able to understand technology applicable to clients. They should be able to adapt to the changing technological innovations. As time goes on, the way things were in the past changes, and so auditors must also need to adapt to these changes. So let me, as an example, which is worth mentioning. For example, the bank letter procedure, which might have taken an associate weeks to complete as a manual process on a large complex group 10 years ago, might now only take 1 day to complete and be largely automated. The second example would be where the use of data analytics is used to apply an audit test 100% sample, right? Because of data analytics tool, you are able to test the entire population rather than a sample. The entire population rather than a sample. And this is very, very good. This is very, very good. This is very, very good. So these are very, very important things to note. These are very important things to note. In our next lecture, however, we'll be talking about the role of government external audits. The role of government external audits. It's worth important to follow us on that next lecture. But today, what we discussed was around the impact of technology on audits. Now, I'll talk about impact. Let me go through again. For a summary, there are a couple of things you need to know. Cybersecurity. So when you're going to do an audit, the auditor must have this at the back of their mind. What are the cybersecurity issues that the company is facing? And what audit procedures do I need to put in place to be able to assess it? Data analytics and big data is also a key thing, right? So organizations, the whole huge conversation that is going on in the audit world is that because of the complexity of data analytics tools that we have today, we might be moved towards testing the entire population rather than a sample. The blockchain audits, we know that blockchain eliminates any intermediaries in transactions and therefore cuts transaction costs. And it basically does this through internet-based ledgers, right? Internet-based ledgers. And because there's verifiable record of all transactions on the blockchain, it allows auditors to be able to test all transactions themselves rather than a sample. And therefore, it increases the level of assurance, right? And auditors will have access to the blockchain so they can go themselves and verify the information rather than going through a third party inboxing, asking the clients. They also have drones. Drones are very, very important at when it comes to inventory counts. Inventory counts is a huge thing in the audit world where human auditors have to go to the client site and count physical inventory, right? Now, drones, which are more efficient, to be able to do that within a shorter period of time, and it's more efficient, and drones are able to cover a larger area. So, in essence, audit professionals must know the changes that are happening in the technological space, its impact on complaints, right? And be able to adapt their audits in that respect. So, thank you very much for listening. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Share our videos with your friends. Thank you for listening, and have a good day.